Yes, in last class we had discussed about the variations of flow properties in Rayleigh flow. So we had discussed about Rayleigh flow equations, and then we gone through the another set of equations, right? Variation of flow properties from Rayleigh flow relations, right? We had find pressure ratio, temperature ratio, and then density ratio or velocity ratio, because density ratio is reciprocal of velocity ratio, and we had to find the equation. And similarly, we had find stagnation pressure ratio. So in this stagnation pressure ratio, I would like to inform you that since we are in Rosapiti class, right, I had missed the exponent term of this P02 by P2 and P01 by P1. So for this P02 by P2, it was 1 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 m2 square whole to the power of gamma by gamma minus 1. Similarly, 1 plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2 m1 square whole to the power of gamma by gamma minus 1. So you have to introduce this gamma by gamma minus 1 factor into this, right? So power of to the power of gamma by gamma minus 1. So I had missed it. Okay, you just follow it. Okay, so this is the correct equation of P02 by P02 relation, right? And then we had find out stagnation temperature ratio P02 by P01, and we are also going to find the relation for the sixth one, that is force ratio, impulse ratio, right? So what is your impulse ratio? Impulse ratio, it is nothing but F1 by F or F2 by F. So we have F2, right? So F2 by F1. So you know generally what is it? Okay, we have estimated impulse in Hanna flow equation itself. So let's write this F as PA times 1 plus gamma m square, right? So this is the relation. So what is F2 now? F2 means P2 is the pressure time varying and the A is constant area, 1 plus gamma, Mach number is also varying, right? And similarly for F1, the equation is P1 A 1 plus gamma m2 square. Here is m2 square, this is m2 square, right? Okay, and now we are going to find F2 by F1, correct? So F2 by F1 is equal to P2A 1 plus gamma m2 square divided by P1A 1 plus gamma m1 square, right? This A is also getting cancelled, and we know P2 by P1. So what is your P2 by P1 relation? 1 plus gamma m1 square divided by 1 plus gamma m2 square, right? We just substitute here. Instead of P2 by P1, 1 plus gamma m1 square divided by 1 plus gamma m2 square. Okay, and then we have the remaining term 1 plus gamma m2 square divided by 1 plus gamma m1 square, right? So the denominator, numerator are getting cancelled. So finally what we get? F2 is equal to F. So what happens to your impulse? Impulse remains constant. Impulse remain constant. Okay, because F2 by F1 is 1. So what is your F2 by F1? It was always 1. Okay, so as per that, your impulse remains constant. So whenever you are applying heat inside the tub, okay, constant area tub, the flow is happening where we have the irreversible acceleration or irreversible deceleration due to the amount of heat added up, right? And then during that time, when you calculate the impulse at the entry section, then impulse at the exit section is also found equal as per this equation, right? Next, we are going to see about the variation of flow properties, right? So here we have the Mach number and the flow parameters. So flow parameters like total pressure ratio, and then we have a velocity ratio and the density ratio, and then pressure ratio, right? And similarly we have F by F star also. And similarly we are having F by F star. This F by F star is maintained constant, right? So at the inlet to exit, we are maintaining constant. And in your Mach number 1, this is supposed to be Mach number less than 1, that is subsonic, and this is Mach number greater than 1, and it is supersonic. So when we talk about velocity, right? Velocity is increasing, right? And then what happens to Mach number greater than 1? So Mach number greater than 1, again velocity is decreasing for supersonic to subsonic. So velocity is increasing and the velocity is decreasing in supersonic side, and the velocity is increasing in subsonic side, right? Similarly, when we talk about pressure, right? So in this pressure equation, when it is in supersonic flow, pressure increases, so that velocity decreases, correct? And then in subsonic region, we will be having the decreasing pressure, so that we have increasing velocity, so that we are having the characteristic curve like this, right? And then we are having the total pressure. When we talk about the total pressure, the total pressure decreases in supersonic flow, and then the same total pressure is also decreasing for the subsonic. So both the cases it was decreasing, right? So this is the behavior of flow properties in a Rayleigh flow. And then we are all comparing this equation with a critical flow. Okay, critical flow means Mach number m is equal to, okay, so that we are using the relation as C by C star, rho star by rho, and then P naught by P naught star, and then P by P star, right? And then F by F star, right? On your right hand side, you are having the total temperature and then temperature. So we have pressure, density, and velocity in the left hand side. In the right hand side, we have temperature ratio. So when we talk about temperature ratio, your temperature is going to increase in this subsonic region. And then when we talk about the supersonic region, n greater than 1, so during this time, we will also having the increasing temperature. Similarly, we have the stagnation temperature, so it is also increasing in total temperatures, right? And then we are having the another term, right? Q by Cp T naught star, that is heat transfer rate. So this heat transfer rate is also increasing with respect to stagnation pressure and with respect to T by T star, right? So we will have this increasing heat transfer rate. So when heat transfer rate is increased, automatically the temperature, the stagnation temperature, both are increasing. So that is the case in Rayleigh. So let me explain this chart once again. So we have the Mach number. So in subsonic flow, Mach number increases, right? And in supersonic flow, Mach number decreases during heating, right? So heat is added, and during cooling, heat is removed, right? So when heat is removed during the time, subsonic flow decreases, and in supersonic flow increases, right? So the process of heating and the cooling is a little bit reversed, so that we have the process of reversible deceleration in the subsonic flow. And then in supersonic flow, we have the reversible acceleration in the supersonic flow, right? So that when we have the Mach number, the same will be followed for velocity also. When Mach number is having the case, then obviously we are having the same thing for velocity. And then when we talk about pressure now, okay, so the pressure and the total pressure, whether it is remains same, your pressure decreases for subsonic flow, it increases for supersonic flow, but your stagnation pressure decreases in both subsonic and supersonic. But during cooling, your stagnation pressure both increases, right? And then your static pressure is also increases in subsonic flow during cooling, and then it was decreases in supersonic flow, right? So you know that F is nothing but impulse. Impulse is constant. In both heat addition process or heat removal process, we are experiencing impulse as a constant, right? And then density. So density decreases and increases. So where decreases on heating, subsonic flow decreases. On heating, in supersonic flow, it decreases. So the process of pressure and density or overall. So we will be having the same thing as increases and then decreases. That is, whatever the parameter we found in, whatever the changes we found in pressure, the same thing is found in density also. And then when we are talking about total temperature, So when we talk about total temperature, enthalpy is playing into major role. So during heating, okay, the Mach number should be maintained less than 1 by root of gamma. 1 by root of gamma is 0.84. Right? So near transonic region. So near transonic region, okay, your total temperature is getting increases when it is maintained for less than 0.84. When it is maintained greater than 0.143, your temperature is getting decreases. Right? And similarly, retain the term of this m less than 1 by root of gamma is not required in supersonic region because temperature is always increasing in supersonic. As well as during cooling also it decreases, right? But in subsonic flow only we are considering the transonic effect. So m less than 0.843, what happens to temperature decreases. And then for m greater than 0.843, what happens to temperature? Temperature is getting increases, right? So it is vice versa. The process of heating and cooling is always given as an vice versa process, right? Then what happens to the entropy here? So during heating, entropy increases. During cooling, entropy decreases. So this is simple statement. We have been studied from first order technologies. So when you add heat, entropy is increasing. And when you remove the heat, then entropy is going to increase. So this is the common property we have studied. Thermodynamics, the same thing is written. Right? Next thing. We are having, I had already solved this maximum heat transfer because today itself we have to finish the class so that I had make this derivation, right? It is nothing but Q by Cp T1 equal to T01 by T1, T02 by T01 minus 1. Okay, so we already have this equation, right? And we are now just substituting the temperature, total temperature to static temperature, T01 by T1 relation. And then T02 by T01 relation, that is stagnation temperature ratio, which is found here, right? We had used this relation, right? And by using this relation, you are just substituting here. And then what I am doing is I am going to cross multiply this relation. That is, I am going to take LCM in this factor, right? So on taking LCM, what we get, just I had expanded 1 plus gamma m1 square as 1 plus gamma square m1 power 4 plus 2 gamma m1 square. So based on a plus b whole square formula expanded. And similarly in the denominator we have this part. I also expanded this part. And then after taking LCM, okay, we can cancel the common terms. And after cancelling out, okay, what we get? After cancelling out, I had expanded this and I am multiplying this m2 square into this. And similarly this m1 square into this, right? And then process ends. After this, what I am doing, I am just multiplying with the remaining term. That is multiplying this factor to this factor. So on multiplying with this factor to this factor, I am having a large equation. And then again, I am simplifying. Okay, on the next term, that is you have the second term also. You just multiplying the second term and I am expanding it. So minus of second term. And then I am cancelling out the common terms, which are all common terms. I am cancelling out. So 2 gamma m1 square m2 square is cancelled. And then we have this term gamma minus 1 divided by 2 m2 power 4 m1 power 4. Here is also the same term is there. So cancel it. And then we have the other term, that is gamma into gamma minus 1 m1 square m2 power 4. Here it is m1 power 4 m2 square, right? So I am just taking it as an ideal constant, right? m1 square m2 square as common outside, and I am making this expression like this, that is last two terms, right? And then the remaining terms are the m2 square minus m1 square is written, and then gamma square m1 square m2 square, okay? And here is also with these two terms I am taking out and writing this term like this. That is, you are going to make this term as m2 and the m1. So m2 minus m1 in all the terms. If you bring it out all the terms like this, you could be able to simplify the terms as much as possible, right? So here I had bring it out m2 square minus m1 square common outside, and then finally we are getting this term. Okay, students, you can make a snap on this, right? In the last page and this page also, right? you can maintain this, and then Q is equal to Q max, right? When Q is equal to Q max, that is during critical state, during critical condition, that is that Mach number is equal to, right? That is Mach number is equal to 1, that is Q star is equal to Q max. So your Q becomes Q max here, this Q becomes Q max here, and your temperature becomes, that is your T1. You are having T1 on the left hand side, so but T2 becomes T star, and the T1 remains T, right? So what we have finally, so on substituting this, M1 is equal to M and M2 is equal to 1. So finally we have T2 is equal to T star and T1 is equal to T. So what we get, so Q max by Cp T1. So in this equation we just substitute M1 is equal to M and M2 is equal to 1. So what we get, 1 minus M square into 1 minus gamma square M square plus gamma minus 1 divided by 2, 1 plus M square. So we have this expression finally. So in this expression we can again re-simplify this expression, and finally we can cancel some terms, right? And finally after this we are having this term, okay, and then again we are going to take LCM. So here we have the denominator 2 on all the sides, so that you are making LCM, and you are again re-simplifying this term, and finally what we get? Finally we got this expression, right? So M square into 1 plus gamma square divided by 2, right? And then your final expression is 1 by 1 minus M square whole square divided by 2 into M square 1 plus gamma, right? So this is your Q max relation, that is maximum heat transfer relation. So this is your important 8-mark question. You have to simplify and make the common expression, and then you have to bring out the condition called the Q max condition. M1 is equal to M and M2 is equal to 1, and T2 is equal to T star, T1 is equal to T. And you are bringing out this expression and you are simplifying it, and then finally you are going to derive this Q max by Cp T1 equal to 1 minus M square whole square divided by 2 M square into M plus, right? And then you need this curve to explain the Q by Cp_T1. So initially your heat transfer of your subsonic state is increasing, and similarly your heat transfer rate on the supersonic side is also increasing, right? So this is the T0 by T star curve. That is the total to total temperature to critical total temperature state, right? So in this both these cases, what happens, your total temperature increases, and then your heat transfer rate is also increases, but comparatively heat transfer rate or subsonic will have the maximum heat transfer rate than the supersonic heat transfer rate, right? So we will found the maximum entropy at this point, right? S max. So S max is nothing but the maximum entropy at this point, right? And in this diagram we will have the same heat addition in this process from stages 1 to 2. Okay, when you have stage 1 to 2, you are considering T01 by T0 star and T02 by T0 star, and you are adding some heat. So during this process, what happens in subsonic region? It is flow velocity is increasing. This Mach number is increasing, right? So from stage 1 to 2, your Mach number is increasing. Suppose if you are considering this Mach number as 0.3, right? And this Mach number is increasing up to 0.6, right? So this is the state here. During heat addition, your Mach number increases on supersonic flow, and this variation is high than the supersonic case. So this is the condition that we are making this heat transfer term. We are introducing this term. Okay, and then in problems also they will be asking maximum heat transfer. So during the time you have to remember this formula, very important formula, and you have to use this formula and you have to find this answer. I think these terms will be available in the test also. Okay, now we are entering into tutorial problem 1 on Rayleigh flow. So the conditions of a gas in a combustor at the entry. So we are having the combustor. We have the entry flow properties like pressure, temperature, C1, that is velocity is given. you have to determine the Mach number, pressure, temperature, and velocity. Okay, Mach number, pressure, temperature, and velocity at the exit if the increase in stagnation enthalpy. So this is nothing but increase in stagnation enthalpy means Cp into T02 minus, that is H02 minus H01. Okay, so the H02 minus H01 is about 1172.5 kilojoule per kilo. And then they are given take Cp as 1.005 kg per kilojoule per kg Kelvin, and then gamma is 1.2. Right? So these are the given statement in the problem. Right? So let us have this, but that is a combustor like this. The combustor, the shape of the combustor will be uniform combustor, constant area combustor, right, like this. So here pressure P1 is about 0.343 bar, and then temperature T1 is about 310 Kelvin, right, and then C1 is 60 meter per second, right. We don't know the actual Mach number M1, right, so you have to find M1. M1 is nothing but C1 by A1. So C1 by A1, you have to find it. And then what you have to find at the exit? You have to determine the Mach number L2, pressure P2, and then temperature T2, right, and then velocity C2, right, and then yes, that's it. So you have to find these 4 parameters at the exit side. We have 4 parameters at the inlet side. You have to find 4 parameters at the exit side. So what is that? Yes, it's Rayleigh flow. Because the other thing, we have the stagnation enthalpy. Stagnation enthalpy is nothing but H02 minus H02. It was given as 1172.5 kilojoule per kilogram, right? So in this, you are going to use this relation Cp times T02 minus T0. That is stagnation enthalpy relation is Cp into T0. Okay, so by this we are having this equation Cp. Cp is constant in both the terms, so that take out Cp value, and then we are having this equation like this. And you know the value of Cp, right? So T02 minus T01 is equal to 1172.5 divided by Cp. Okay, so what is your Cp? 1.00. Now, what is the change in temperature, stagnation temperature? Students, you can respond me in the chat box. Yes, Kelly Karthikeyan, Uday Kumar, Nevis. Tell me the answer. T02 minus T02. That's the value. Yes, it was 1.16. So in numericals into 10 to the power of 3. So how much it is? 1160. Am I correct, Kelly Karthikeyan? 1160. Correct? Okay, so 1160 Kelvin. Oh, 66.6. Maybe we will have the accurate answer. So 1166.66. We just take only 6, right? Okay. Right. So this is the stagnation temperature ratio difference. The difference of stagnation temperature ratio. Right. Now we need either T01 or T02. So we have to find T01. So in order to find T01, we need M1. Correct. So what happens? We are following the M1 relation. We have to find the M1. So M1 is equal to C1 divided by A1. C1 is already given, right? Then what is your A1? Root of gamma or T, right? And then what is C1? C1 is 60 divided by root of gamma. The value of gamma is 1.4. R is 287 for air. And then T1. T1 is 3 times. Right? Now tell me what is the Mach number M1? Student, you can use the parentheses for simplifying in calculator, because we have square root term in the denominator, so that 60 divided by use parentheses and then put square root, again parentheses, and then open it, and then 1.4 into 287 into 310, close the parentheses. Once again, students. Percent. Yes, correct. Leela Krishna, great answer. So 0.17. What is your Mach number at the entry? Was 0.17. So using isentropic table. Very good, Kalika. The isentropic table, gamma is equal to 1.4 chart. Okay. For M1 is equal to 0.1. M1 is equal to 0.17. Okay, we find the value of T by T0. We find the value of T1 by T0. Right? So we are going for gas tables now. Right? So in this gas table, here we are having isentropic table, right? So in the reference side, we have isentropic flow of perfect gas. Here, gamma is equal to 1.4 is there. So in this gamma is equal to 1.4 chart, we have T by T0, right? So T by T0 table, that is your third column. We have Mach number in the first column. So for 0.17, we need the T0 by T chart relation. So for 0.17, what is the value? It was about 0.994, correct? So 0.994. Again written here. So the answer is 0.994, correct? Now you know the value of T1, right? So T1 is 310. And what is your T01 now? So T01 is equal to 310 divided by 0.994. Okay. So tell me the answer of T01. What is your T01 now? Yeah, it was 311.8. English Subramanian. Right. Yes, 311.7. Yeah, we may round it up at a single decimal value so that we can have the answers simply with this, right? So 311.8. Very good. Now, what we are going to, with the help of this T01, now we could find this value, correct? So what is your T02 minus T01? So T02 is equal to 4166.6 plus this 311.8 Kelvin. So what is your T02 now? What is T02? Yes, it was about 1478.4, right? So 1478.4. Okay. So this is your T02 value. So after finding these values, we are going to use this value. With the help of this value only, we are going to find the value of M2, right? With these values is going to helpful for finding the value of M2, right? So for that, you have to construct the Rayleigh flow table for M1 is equal to 0.17. Okay, so now we are going back for Rayleigh flow table now. So what is that? We are having M1 is equal to 0.17. Okay, so Rayleigh flow table. Rayleigh flow table. What is your gamma? Gamma is nothing but 1.1. Okay, so go to Rayleigh flow table now. So in this, we have table 3 as isentropic flow table. We have normal shock table, oblique shock table. Table number 5. Table number 6 is Fana flow. Here, isothermal flow of perfect gas liquefaction. Table 7 is not there. Here in Rayleigh flow, table 8 is Rayleigh flow, correct? So in this table 8, your gamma value is 1.4, correct? So you select gamma is equal to 1.4. So in this, what is your Mach number? Mach number is 0.17, right? But here the Mach number is around 0.16 to 0.1. Okay, so we have to select in between this average. So you have to take the average of these two values, that is P by P star. So what is the average of P by P star? Students, you can respond me in the chat box. Average of this value, that is 2.317 plus 2.295 divided by 2. What is the answer for P by P star? You have to write all the terms here. That is P by P star, P naught by P star, T by T star, T naught by T star. Okay. And then finally C by C star. You have to write all the values of this Rayleigh flow table. No problem. So the answer is, yeah, very good, 2.306. So 2.306 is P by P star. So your P by P star is 2.306. And similarly, P naught by P naught star is there. So what is your P naught by P star? Similarly, average of these two. Average of 1.246 and then 1.241. Yes, Venkata Subramanian. It was 1.248. So 1.2485. 1.2485. Okay. And similarly, for T by T star, 0.137 plus 0.17. 0.137 plus 0.171. Average values. What is the average value? Only Venkata Subramanian is answering, but others 1.242. The last value is 1.242. We had written 1.2485. Okay. 0.152. Very good. Very good, Rohit. So 0.152. T by T star is 0.152, and then P naught by P star is 1.243, right? So 1.24. Okay. And similarly, T naught by T naught star. So what is your T naught by T naught star? Yes, T naught by T naught star. 0.115 plus 0.143 divided by 2. And similarly, you have to find for C star, C by C star also. Just need answers from your side, students. Yeah, Venkata Subramanian, 0.129. It is for T naught by T naught star. 0.129. 0.129. And what is the value of C by C star? It is the last column of the table, C by C star. Okay, 0.059 plus 0.074 divided by 2. What is the answer? Yeah, it was 0.0661. 0.0661. Yes, right. So finally, we had write the data of the Rayleigh flow table. So for Mach number M1 is equal to 0.17 with respect to critical state of the flow. With respect to critical state of the flow, we have all these ratios that we had in the estimated. Right now, with help of this, okay, we are going to find what M2. How we are going to find M2? It's very simple thing. Just I'm considering only this expression, right? Because we need M2. If we know M2, we can find all the values in the Rayleigh flow table, and we can construct the complete table, and we will find the usual terms. Whatever the procedures we have followed in planar flow, the same thing calculation procedure is followed here. Right? So here we have T naught by T naught star is equal to 0.12. I'm going to consider this expression, and this is nothing but 1, correct? So this is M1, so that we have 1, the numerator side, right? So it was T naught 1 by T naught star is equal to 0.129. Okay, so now from this expression, we are going to find T naught star. Right? So what is your T naught star? T naught star is equal to T naught 1. So your T naught 1 is 311.8. So 311.8. Okay. So 311.8 divided by 0.129. Right? Now what is your T naught star? Tell me the answer, students. Quick. We have still 10 minutes of class remaining. The attendance is also needed for you. Yeah, is it correct? 2417.05. 2417.05. So 2417.05 Kelvin. Okay, so this is your T naught star value. Now, what you have to find? I'm going to find T naught 2 by T naught star. Right? Your T naught 2. This is your T naught 2. 1478.4. 1478.4 divided by T naught star 2417.05. Okay, what is the answer? What is T naught 2 by T naught star? Yes, it was 0.611. Okay, so 0.611. Very good. Right. So with the help of this data, that is again in Rayleigh table, okay, for T naught by T star, T naught star. Okay, for T naught by T naught star, 0.611. Okay, you are going to find the value of M, right? So 0.611. So go to table. Here T naught by T naught star column is there. Okay, you can check the value of 0.611 here. So here 0.20, then 0.421, 0.529, we have 0.630. So the values are in between these, right? The values are somewhat in between these. Okay, so we can select either of these values, right? And then we will have this value of Mach number now, right? So I am considering the larger value here, so 0.630, right? On a rounding of this value, they have 0.6 value, so that I am just considering this second value. So for this second value, what is the Mach number? Or 0.630, what is the Mach number? So the Mach number is 0.46, correct? So Mach number is 0.46. So M2 is 0.46. So for this M2, okay, we know T naught by T naught star already. Okay, still we have to estimate pressure, temperature, and then pressure, temperature, and velocity, right? So we have to write the remaining ratios, correct? So in the same table, okay, we have to find P by P star. So what is your P by P star value? 1.852. Okay. So your P by P star is 1.852, right? And what is your T by T star? T by T star is this color. T by T star. It was 0.725. T by T star is 0.725, right? And then we have to find pressure. Pressure we have written, and then temperature we have written, and then velocity ratio. Velocity ratio is 0.39. Velocity ratio is 0.39. Right? Now what we have to find is, we are going to find P2, T2, C2, correct? We have to find P2, C2, and the T2. Yeah, that is in the question. What we have to find? Mach number. Here Mach number we have find 0.46 is, and then pressure. Pressure we have to find, temperature we have to find, and velocity we have to find, right? So let us make the table, that is M1 and the pressure ratio, velocity ratio, and the temperature ratio table, and then we can find the values of the remaining. Okay, so we will construct a table now. This is for Mach number. Just have a table like this: pressure, temperature, and velocity.